comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar.
Ooh, I ran downstairs much. Okay, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe has officially hit 22 movies. I've been a fan of this franchise the entire time, and I sometimes rank franchises when I see them. Now, I'm not like Sean Chandler or Austin Burke where I rank them literally every single time a new entry is added. But if I really do feel like it, and this is the time where I do feel like it, seeming as Avengers Endgame is kind of the final movie in this, this is a perfect time to rank them. There's no better time to rank the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm going to rank all 22 Marvel movies, every single one in the MCU. I did do this back last summer with Ant-Man and the Wasp. One of my most viewed videos, also one of my most disliked videos, but I don't care. I'm doing it again. And I really don't care about ratings on my videos. So let's just jump right into the list, shall we? Also, keep in mind, all of these videos do have reviews. I have reviewed every single one of these movies in the last month or so. So I have a bunch of reviews up for all these movies. And so those reviews are up. You can go to my MCU playlist and just watch all my reviews for these movies. But essentially, I'm not going to be spoiling any of them. Maybe if I might end up spoiling like Infinity War or something, but I'll do my best to not do any spoilers or anything like that. And also, these are not full reviews. These are going to be 1 minute to 2 minutes long, maybe even less than that. But here we go. Let's rank all the MCU movies.
Thor, your bravery will not ease your pain. Your family, your world will be extinguished.
Thor: The Dark World is my least favorite Marvel movie, simply because of how mediocre it is. It's not a bad movie to me, it's just easily the most Marvel movie. It's not terrible, it's not offensive, it's just kind of lame and just isn't very memorable. There are some cool action sequences, some cool visuals, it's not very good characters, most of them. It's just a forgettable movie. It's just a very mediocre Marvel movie. Villain kind of freaking sucks. The movie doesn't suck. It's not a bad movie, but it is my least favorite Marvel movie. Actually, kind of by far. This is the worst Marvel movie just because of how just mediocre it is. And you'd think when you see the first Thor, okay, we have something going here. We can make a good sequel. And then make a sequel that's just a lot worse than the first one. Very disappointingly, it is worse than the first one. Not a terrible movie by any standpoint, but not a very good one either. My perfect description of this movie is that in the To The End trailer thing that they released for Endgame, when it says The Incredible Hulk, we don't see clips from The Incredible Hulk. We see a clip from Civil War of Ross, or the guy who's actually in this movie, and then we see a couple clips of the Hulk from the original Avengers, because they don't have the rights to this movie, because this movie is so forgettable. It's like the lost movie in the MCU. If somebody said, that movie's not really part of the MCU, I'd be like, frick, yeah, it really isn't. Really only one character comes back. And you might say that the Hulk comes back and Bruce Banner comes back. And yeah, he does. But when he comes back, he's Mark Ruffalo and he doesn't look anything like him. And then now I only think of him as Mark Ruffalo. So it's just, Edward Norton's Hulk is good, but it's just forgettable. It's just a forgettable movie. It's one of those movies where it's like, one of those Marvel movies where you're like, oh yeah, that does exist. Oh, I forgot that exists. And if I forget your movie exists, that's not very good. It's a very unimpactful, very meh movie to me. I've seen this movie ranked in these bottom three. There's these bottom three spots that are just the mediocre Marvel movies. And once you get past that, they're still not great. But they get better and better and better. And these bottom three I have in my own order. They're usually these three movies. But Iron Man 2, it's not a terrible movie. It's a very mediocre one, again. But the movie is just so, honestly, just so wanting to do, it wants to do so much. Like, why they want to make Iron Man create a new element, they want to have War Machine, they want to have Ivan, they want to have so much in this movie that they just can't have all of it. Whiplash sucks. He's super cringy. The final act of this movie is pretty entertaining as a whole, but the rest of it is just kind of eh. It's not the worst Marvel movie by any standpoint. It's the third worst. It's just kind of meh. And it nowhere near lives up to the original standards of Iron Man 1. It's not terrible. It has entertaining moments, but as a whole, it very falls short of its predecessor.
Would you like to know what you really are?
I think I had a life here. What aren't you telling me?
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for putting Captain Marvel as low as I am, but the problem with this movie to me is not only that it's just another mediocre, it's just another Marvel movie that does nothing really original, and it has a lot of, like, I don't really care for Brie Larson in this movie, and I don't really care for Jude Law, or just most of the new characters I don't really care for. The main problem with this movie is the fact that it doesn't really have a right to be mediocre. Marvel they found their way. They found their way in 2014. Like, they were able, like, okay, we can make really good movies now consistently. And they kind of were, and then Captain Marvel kind of comes along, it's like, hey, I'm good, and yeah, you made $1 billion movie, but you're still nowhere near as good as any Phase 3 movie. It's easily my least favorite movie in Phase 3, which sucks. And I want this movie to be awesome, and sequences in it are awesome, but there's just too many overlying problems of the plot just being mediocre. Not like just being kind of a joyless movie most of the time. Some kind of just boring plot points. I didn't really care for Captain Marvel, to be honest. I didn't think Brie Larson did all that good in the role, unfortunately. Samuel Jackson's cool. There's a lot of good action sequences. The CGI is amazing. Most of it is good. Production standpoint, it's Phase 3 up to standards. Plot standpoint, we're back down to Phase 1. It feels like they're still trying to figuring out their footing in this movie, which is very frustrating, because I expect more from Marvel by this point. While I do not hate this movie, I don't even think it's really a bad movie. It's just kind of mediocre.
Vader's king. His fate is in his own hands now.
Thor, another forgettable Marvel movie. It's not, like, anywhere near bad. It is just forgettable. It has some very cool action sequences. I very much like the character Thor. I like Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of him. But other than that, there's a lot of boring plot points. Loki's cool. I don't really have much to say on this movie, to be honest. I like it fine. It's a Phase 1 Marvel movie. That's my review for just... oh, look, a Phase 1 Marvel movie. Nothing cool of it. Nothing that cool about it. Some cool elements. Some boring elements. Just kind of in the middle, eh. It's probably going to be my shortest review in this entire video. I just don't dig this movie. Don't hate it. Just don't dig it.
I don't know if I can do this. This is why you've been chosen.
This movie, I'd kind of think the same on Thor. Both of these movies. The first part of this movie, the first Avenger, is awesome and great. I love it. It's a great setup to the movie. And I still would rate this movie an 8 out of 10. I quite like this movie. But once after that, it's just the second half of the movie just isn't nearly as good as the first half. It's still cool. It's still entertaining. The final scene is still cool. Red Skull is still alright. It's not a bad movie. It's not bad. I like Chris Evans. I like forgetting who plays Peggy Carter. I like all that stuff in the movie. What I just don't like is just the pacing. And that kind of ruins a lot of the movie for me. And a couple of scenes are kind of like, okay, that's kind of dumb. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just good.
Go, go. You go low, I'll go high.
I have wings. Why would I go low?
Another Marvel movie that a lot of people are going to be like, why did you put that movie so low? I thought you really liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. What? Yeah, I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I have this. I own it. I own this movie. I like it a lot. I think it's a good movie. I don't hate it. Do you know what I don't like about it? How pointless it is, and how kind of badly written it is. No, the writing doesn't suck. I mean, it is pointless AF. Nobody really asked for an Ant-Man sequel. I mean, I enjoyed the first Ant-Man fine, but really, this movie doesn't need to exist at all. The comedy's good, the action's cool, cinematography's bland, but it's alright. Ghost I was entertained by. Worst part about this movie is just that I just don't like the writing. I mean, it's not terrible writing, but the problem with the script of this movie is that it's just so, like, clunky. Like it's like it's like 1.5 hour, just I'll call it 100-minute chase of find the lab. Just, oh, now I have the lab. Oh, now he has the lab. Let's go get the lab. Oh, the lab's over here. It's just not very well paced. And that's my problem with this movie. Aside from that, when I rewatch, I've only seen this movie twice, so I can't really get too mad at it. First saw in theaters, I was entertained by it first time. Didn't love it, but the second time I watched it, still didn't love it. But I was more entertained. If you've seen this movie one time, go watch it again. It's a lot more entertaining the second time. But it's still not great. It's still probably the most pointless Marvel movie. I can't really think of another movie that's just, why did that exist? It's not bad, and I don't hate it, and it's just kind of fun to me. It's entertaining. I'd still rate it 8, and I think it's entertaining.
I am death. And pain. You'll die protecting this world. I can't do this. There is no other way.
Another controversial choice here. Doctor Strange is a Marvel movie that a lot of people love, and I'm totally not against you if you love this movie. Love it all you want. The visuals and action are phenomenal. The rest of the movie is pretty good. That's my problem with this movie. It's just that it's just really just buried by the rest of the MCU and its epicness. This is the part of the list where I start really liking this. Is Ant-Man and the Wasp is the best of the worst of the MCU. Now we're into the middle good part of the MCU. We'll get to best at like number 11 actually. Those are the really good Marvel movies. But this movie comes in, and I think it's pretty good. I like Doctor Strange. I like the action. The action's amazing, to be honest. Tilda Swinton's awesome. There's a lot of really great elements to this movie. There's just a lot of really elements to this movie. I don't hate it. I quite like the movie, dude. I really do like it. I like it more than Rogue One. I don't know why I made that comparison. They both came out in 2016. Those are two movies I'm like, both mid-8 out of 10. But I'd give this movie a higher rating. I like it more. This movie's better than Rogue One. And Doctor Strange, you're entertaining. And you're the best magic movie of November because your only competition is Fantastic Beasts, which isn't very good. So...
You tried to hide your suit from me. Now, it's gonna blow up in your face and destroy everyone you care about.
This is a movie that I am very entertained by. Ant-Man's pretty good. It's not, like, amazing Marvel. It has some really cool elements to it. The small tech is done great. Paul Rudd is entertaining. I like this movie far more than Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, I enjoy it a lot more. I like Paul Rudd more in this movie. I think I pretty much just take everything. Ant-Man and the Wasp just kind of takes a lot of the first Ant-Man, everything good of the first Ant-Man, and just does it a bit worse, and then just has a lot more worse things to it. This movie, yes, it has some problems. I think there's some stupid dialogue. There's some stupid elements to it. There's stupid moments in the movie. But it's entertaining. It's funny. It's exciting. It's a heist movie. I didn't know that was going to happen. I was entertained as frick by the movie. I've seen it like so many times. It's a very entertaining, fun movie. You've never seen these videos, but I do own the movie because I rented it from Redbox, forgot to return it, and they were like, just keep it. And now I own Ant-Man by accident. But I own Ant-Man, and I've seen it multiple times because I think it's very entertaining.
I'm gonna offer the choice. Do you want an empty life or a meaningful death?
Don't hate me. Do not hate me here. Iron Man 3 is great in my opinion. This is when these movies start getting really good. I still consider this in the middle half of the MCU for me. But Iron Man 3 is, in my opinion, great. I don't get the hate towards this movie. I am a fan of the character, what they do with Tony Stark. I'm a fan of the action. I thought the Mandarin was alright. The twist with the Mandarin improved the movie for me. The twist, if we had that one, like, some people call me a teacher, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, if we had him as the villain, it would have sucked. That would be a terrible villain. He'd be so stupid and cringy. Think about it. Would you have liked him as a villain? Would he have been any good? No. So thank God that they picked the other guy, which isn't a great villain, but it's entertaining. But he's alright. He's a good villain. He serves his purpose as a villain. I like the messages. I'm kind of upset by Marvel just kind of like, Iron Man 3 didn't really happen. So that does frustrate me. But aside from that, this movie's great. I don't get the hate towards it. I will forever be someone who really enjoys this movie. People need to just stop hating it. because Iron Man's not in it enough. If you went into this movie like, oh my god, Iron Man, then you probably hit The Dark Knight Rises because literally all you care about is action in your movie.
Here we all are, with nothing but our wit and our will to save the world. So stand and fight.
There are a lot of divisive movies on this list. Age of Ultron. Okay, so a lot of people are like, what the frick? How did you like this movie? And I'm like, because I think it's good. Like, it's just a good movie. God, I seem like such a nerd right now. I really like Age of Ultron. I'm not going to go as far to say I love it, and I think there are very noticeable, there's like a lot of things where you could say, what about this problem? What about that problem? Yes, the movie's messy. It's messy. It's convoluted. Ultron is cracking jokes, and he's kind of not very good to take seriously. There's not really very good stakes in the movie. It is just a big blockbuster. And I don't really care because the movie's entertaining. The action is well choreographed and fast-paced. CGI is amazing. The story is engaging and good. Does it have a bit too much going on? Yes. Is it not organized well enough for that much stuff to be going on? Yes. It should have been a lot more organized. But aside from those little complaints, this is going to be really hard to edit, so yeah, there's a little split between there. But this is a really great movie, in my opinion. I think it's entertaining. I don't hate Ultron. He's entertaining enough to watch on the screen. This is a good sequel to the Avengers. Is it nearly as good as the Avengers? No, you will see that movie a lot later on this list. But this is a good movie. Stop hating Age of Ultron, guys. I mean, I guess have your own opinion, but... Now I start really loving these movies. Like, I genuinely do love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Some people hate it. Some people say the pacing is too clunky for me. The comedy feels forced and some of the characters are useless. This movie I would rate a 4 out of 10. And I'm like, no, I'd probably rate it a 9. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, I don't know. This movie is so good in my opinion. I love where they take every character. I love the arcs they give every character. It feels well paced. It's one of those movies where it's like, I don't understand your criticism at all. Like, this movie is just fast, exciting. The comedy works. It's emotional. I don't get it. It's just I don't get it. It's like, why isn't this one of the most praised Marvel movies? Rotten Tomato loves it. I love it. It's great. It's actually a fan. I do notice when I do read through stuff, this is a fan favorite Marvel movie. A lot of people, critics, aren't the biggest fans of it. A lot of those YouTube critics aren't the biggest fans of it. I'm one of those guys that's like, no, this movie's awesome. It has great entertaining scenes. It's great stuff to it. This is a great movie. Stop hating it, guys. Now number 10 is going to make everybody hate me, isn't it?
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now. Cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now. Cause we own ya.
It's not supposed to be number 10, actually. Black Panther is the greatest superhero movie ever made. And it's amazing. Okay, I've made fun of people who think this is the best superhero movie, or even the best Marvel movie, or even the best superhero movie of 2018. I've made fun of them for far too long. I think it's ridiculous how much praise this movie has gotten. It is nowhere near... It's not a cultural impact at all. What do I think on the movie? I think it's a creative superhero movie. The visuals are great. The action scenes are very good. But the character development's good. There's conflict with the villain. The villain's great in the movie. I genuinely love this movie. Is it culturally impactful? Not entirely. I think it's ridiculous. How... fine, I guess. Now I think about it. Fine if you think this movie is a cultural impact. Didn't impact me that deeply. But the movie, if it's like, well, it's a movie with a bunch of black guys, black people at least, and it doesn't focus on slavery or anything like that, fine with me. That's actually, I like that right there. Good on you guys. What I find ridiculous and overabundant is people saying this is the best superhero movie ever, the best movie of 2018, the best anything like that. It's nowhere near that good. Yes, it's number 10 on this list. Can I barely praise this movie? I barely can, when I just don't like this bandwagon of people saying this is an amazing masterpiece of a movie. I'd rate this movie 9 out of 10. This is a great Marvel movie. It's one of the better Marvel movies. It's number 10 on this ranking for a reason. But is it amazing by any standards? It is not an amazing movie. It is just a very fun, entertaining movie. Great stuff in this movie. Great writing. Great character development. But it boggles my mind how so many people are like, Black Panther is the best movie ever. Or just how much ridiculous praise this movie gets. That's my rant for the day. I like the movie. Black Panther's great in my opinion. I dare to say it's great. It's well written. It has great development. I like how the character's mind goes through conflict instead of defeat bad guy. I defeat bad guy. Now, his character actually goes through conflict. But the praise is overabundant.
He's a fighter.
Here we go!
Oh, now let's get to some more fun movies, because Thor Ragnarok. Oh my god, this movie's so much fun. I like this movie far more than Black Panther. Fight me. This movie is so much goddamn fun. It's just so much fun. The comedy is hilarious. Every time I watch it, I laugh harder at a new joke. Like sometimes the first time I'm like, oh, that's funny. Oh, the next time, oh, it's really funny. Finally, I'm like, that joke is hilarious. The comedy works every time. I've seen this movie, I don't know how many times. I've seen this movie so many times. It's entertaining. It's exciting. I liked Hela as the villain. She's fun to watch. So much in this movie is just fast-paced, colorful, fun. It's great in my opinion. I don't have many problems with this movie. This is, I think, my dad's favorite Marvel movie, which totally makes sense. If you're an adult, you probably don't care. I mean, once I asked my mom, and she's like, I don't care really for all the drama in the movies. I care more for the comedy, because I guess she doesn't connect to these superheroes as much as I do, which I'm fine with. I'd rather them focus on drama, which is a praise I could give to Black Panther, where it focuses a lot more on drama than comedy. But this movie really goes for the comedy. It really goes for it, and it ends up being better than Black Panther, because Black Panther is just overabundantly praised, and hype has kind of ruined that movie for me. But this movie, hype has not ruined it. It's a hyped up movie, deservedly. This movie is just completely fun and entertaining.
My friends are up there!
I see these two movies flip around before I see Ragnarok above Homecoming, but they're always in the same area of the MCU ranking. I adore Homecoming. This is the most joyful and fun, most joyful, playful Marvel movie. It's reminiscent of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man's movies while still giving us new ideas. Does this movie hold a candle to Into the Spider-Verse from last year? No. Most movies don't hold a candle to Into the Spider-Verse. But does it stand on its own as a good Marvel movie and one of my favorite Marvel movies? Yes. It's entertaining. It's exciting. It's intense sometimes. Michael Keaton as the Vulture is great. There are some moments in this movie of genuine cringe. They're supposed to be there because high schoolers. There's one scene in this movie where he goes into Liz's house, like for the homecoming. It is super, super cringy and kind of intense. The car scene is super intense. There is a pure, 5 minutes of this movie that's just pure cringe and intensity, and it is pulled off great. This movie is just joyful, fun, and exciting. If you haven't seen Homecoming, you're really wasting your time.
Good luck keeping up.
The movie that started it all, Iron Man. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies for the simplistic reason of it being simple. There it is. The third act of this movie is not as good as the rest of the movie. The movie is such a good setup to a character. It really sets up Iron Man as a snarky billionaire who doesn't really care about the lives of other people. When he finds out his weapons are being used to kill people, he's like, I'm going to change. And he changes. He becomes Iron Man. He fights Obadiah. And while that part of the movie is not as good as the rest of the movie, it's mainly the writing and the characters I just love so much in this movie. It makes fun of cliches sometimes. It kind of makes fun of those. While at the same time, it doesn't really. It's entertaining. It's very well fun. CGI's good. There's not many. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies. A, because it started it all, and B, because it's a very well developed, very good character story. And Iron Man, yes, this is one of my favorite Marvel movies, and you guys should just put up with it.
I look around, you know what I see? Losers. But life's giving us a chance. To do what?
Something good, something bad, bit of both.
Everybody loves Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody loves this movie, including me, because I love this movie. This movie doesn't go wrong anywhere, in my opinion. It's funny, it's exciting, it's sad. It gets really sad at the end. It's just a really, really entertaining and quotable movie. Very quotable. Very great soundtrack. Great soundtrack. Both movies have great soundtracks, so maybe I should have mentioned that with Volume 2. But I just adore this movie. I just have a great time watching this movie. I think it sets up these characters perfectly. The marketing for this movie, you'd think, wait, why are we making this movie? And then you see it and you're like, no, I know why we made this movie. Guardians of the Galaxy is a household name now. Groot is a household name. Rocket, Star-Lord, Gamora, even Nebula maybe. Those are all household names after Endgame. Nebula's definitely a household name. That this movie sets up more Marvel movies. It kind of sets up the Infinity. It really introduces us to Infinity Stones. And at the same time delivers an entertaining and exciting story with all these characters. I don't dig Ronan as the villain, but aside from that one little problem with the movie, it's entertaining, exciting, and it's one of the best Marvel movies without question. And now we're into the top 5. Woo.
We're not a team. We're a time bomb.
Remember going into this part, all 5 of these movies I've given a 10 out of 10. Avengers is the movie that kind of started it all off for me. It set up Infinity War. But essentially with the Avengers, if you guys don't know the story of me seeing the MCU, back when Avengers came out, I saw it on Redbox, but I watched Iron Man and that one both back to back at night. Let's see, how long was it? 7 years ago now? Well, not 7 years ago now. It will be 7 years ago later this year, but I'll say 6 years ago for now because that's actually fair. But 6 years ago, I watched that movie, and the Iron Man, and I thought that was really cool. I saw the Avengers, and I thought, whoa, that was awesome. I was so pumped. That movie was amazing to me. It blew my middle. How old was I? Like 7, 8 years old. It blew my mind. I was like, whoa. And I praise the movie for that. It does look like a TV show in its lighting. Aside from that, it's awesome. It's exciting. It has good character development. The Avengers don't get along until the end. Instead of Justice League, where it's like immediately they kind of get along, Justice League is just suck. That movie just sucks. This movie just rules. Avengers is great. And yes, I am the perfect definition of a super Marvel fan and a super DC hater. I don't hate all DC. I hate the DCEU, though those movies aren't very good. Not all of them, though. But this movie perfectly is just a good Marvel movie. It's just super exciting, super entertaining. It gives us good character development. It shows each character, and I love how they play together. I love how they interact off each other. Every character in this movie is given one arc, working as a team. Nick Fury's cool, Black Widow's cool, Hawkeye's cool. This movie is cool. That shouldn't be my one-word description, but I have a very good time watching this movie.
Are you ready? All it takes is one step. People are gonna die. I can't let that happen.
The spy thriller that The Winter Soldier is makes this movie all the more exhilarating and exciting for me. I am someone who loves spy thrillers like this, where it's about intrigue and spy stuff, while at the same time delivers amazing action. And that's why I love Rogue Nation, Ghost, all those new Mission Impossible movies. That's why I love Skyfall, and that is why I love The Winter Soldier. This is like those movies. It's like an espionage spy movie, and that is awesome. The plot is good. It's engaging. It's very interesting to see how this whole story is unfolding. They made Captain America, if I were to rank the 4 main Avengers, my third, actually probably my second favorite, to be honest. I didn't dig Hulk or Thor until like Ragnarok, but I mean I digged Hulk in Avengers, but the point is that Captain America wasn't a character that I loved until this movie. This movie showed him and I was like, oh my god, they pulled that guy off. He's awesome in this movie. He does flips. He uses his shield to like break car windows. There's so much to his character. There's so much to him. There is so much to this movie that I love. The Winter Soldier is awesome. Reveals are cool. It's an espionage epic spy movie with amazing cinematography. And this works as the best action movie into the MCU. I adore this movie. I love it. There.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
You just started a war.
You will notice that my top 4 are all the Russo brothers movies. If you didn't count down, if you haven't been thinking about it. Captain America Civil War is perfect, in my opinion. This is a movie that truly, truly knows how to write. Like, the writers of this movie were truly like, if they wrote this movie after Batman vs. Superman, that would be hilarious. But it's like, what if we kind of took a lot of the... Like, it's very similar to Batman vs. Superman. It just doesn't suck like Batman vs. Superman. And no, I'm not one of those DC haters that's like, they all suck. I loved Shazam, and Wonder Woman was great. The rest of them I'm not a very big fan of, and I love The Dark Knight too. But this movie, back to Marvel, who cares about DC right now? This Civil War is a movie that just is such good writing. The conflicts feel real. It actually feels like real. There's consequence to this movie. There's excitement. The final battle of this movie is very intense and very emotional. Airport scene is entertaining. It's awesome, and it showcases our heroes fighting each other, trying to kind of kill each other. It doesn't really become a death. There's not really this sense, the airport battle doesn't really have the sense of, I'm gonna murder you, until the ending of the movie really feels that it's very brutal. For a Marvel movie. It's not like Logan brutal, where he runs through the woods and his claws just go through someone's neck and he runs by them. Like that type of brutal. It's not anything near some of the fights in Logan, but it is definitely brutal. For a Marvel movie, at least. And I do feel the brutality. It's a really good movie. The 2.5 hour runtime is not apparent. There's a lot to unpack here. It's very entertaining, very festing. This is one of my favorite Marvel movies, and I would give it number 2. Nothing's really close to being number 1 for me. This movie's great. My top 2 is very, very cool. Like, it's very cool how these top 2 are done. You already know number 1 and you see number 2. So yeah. But my top 2 favorite Marvel movies are these 2 masterpieces of films, in my opinion.
Does put a smile on my face.
Avengers Infinity War. This movie, I don't know if I really need to review it again. I've at least reviewed it 10 times on this channel, like top 10 best movies of the year. I gave it number 1 on that list, on the best movies of 2018. That's my favorite movie of the year, and nothing will ever beat it, probably. I gave it my best Marvel movie that summer, at least. I gave it, so I've reviewed it then. I reviewed it on my best movies of 2018 so far. I reviewed it in my spoiler review. I reviewed it in my actual review. I've talked about this movie so many times. I even recently wrote a Letterbox review of me explaining why this movie is absolutely awesome and amazing. The writing, the characters, everything holds together. I've seen this movie about 7 times since it came out about a year ago. A year ago, today, actually. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Avengers Infinity War to me was epic. It was just awesome. It was just battle after battle, consistently fast paced, but never too fast, never slow. Just let's go. Come on, everybody, let's go. Thanos in this movie was amazing. He's a great villain. He's awesome when he picks up that moon and he throws at the Avengers. You feel it. He's an awesome character. Thanos, this is Thanos' movie. Everybody's already said that, but I love him in this movie. The ending of this movie, oh my god, the ending. I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending. Iron Man's awesome. Spider-Man, Captain America, the Guardians of the Galaxy, seeing them all meet Thor. There's so many cool little interactions in this movie. This movie, even from the fan service of seeing Rocket say, I'm going to get that arm to Winter Soldier, even without all that fan service that are being added to the movie, there's still really good story in this movie. It's still unpredictable. It still goes in directions that you don't think it will. It takes the normal superhero formula and just flips it on its head, and it just makes you go, what the heck? Like, it's just awesome to me. I'm going to remember this movie when I grow up, hopefully, at least. I doubt I will forget about this movie. I hope one day that kids of the next generation in the 2050s will show them back when we were all kids, we saw movies called Marvel movies, and everybody loved them, and we'll show them Avengers Infinity War, and they will see why these movies are so amazing. This movie is fast-paced, exciting, good, really emotional and sad. It's the darkest Marvel movie, and yes, Avengers Infinity War does cap it off as my second favorite Marvel movie, but you know what number one is, and it kind of obviously is number one. You know what it is. You really do.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Plot twist. Endgame's my new favorite Marvel movie. I didn't see that one coming. Yes, I very much saw that one coming. Russo brothers have pulled off my 4 favorite Marvel movies. And it goes by release. It's just the worst Russo brother Marvel movies. The Winter Soldier, then Civil War, then Infinity War, then Endgame. They consistently keep making better ones. And I do think they are going to stop making Marvel movies. But they've said, we're going to make, we could make some more Marvel movies. And I'm like, yeah, you're really good at it. You've given me the conclusion. You've given me the perfect, most satisfying conclusion to the MCU. Jeremy Johns made a spoiler review for this movie recently. This isn't a spoiler, I'm going to say. There's no spoilers in this talk right here. But what he said was that in this movie, there's a scene, or not, what did I say there? That he said that if this was the last movie in the MCU, it wouldn't bug him. And I'm totally on point there. I'm like, yeah, if this was where we ended the MCU, if it's like no more Marvel movies after Endgame, I would be like, solid ending. That's a good ending to this cinematic universe. Of course, it makes billions of dollars, and it's about to hit 20 billion, so who cares? We're going to make way more of these movies, and honestly, I don't care because I'm enjoying them as hell. This movie, Endgame, is 3 hours, doesn't feel like it. It's a character story. It develops each character, focuses on them, enhances them. Interactions with characters are great. Like I said in my review, there's a scene in this movie that the interaction between these two characters is really emotional and really well done. There are some really cool little moments this movie, cool Easter eggs, cool just generally fan service, which a lot of people hate, but like I've said before, as long as the movie has substance, I don't hate fan service. It caps off the MCU in the perfect way. Third act is great. The whole movie is great in general. It goes in directions, it goes in very ballsy directions, goes in very directions that you wouldn't expect one of these movies to do. One of these big money-making movies that are really only there to make money, this movie goes in directions that you wouldn't expect it to do. It's entertaining, it's exciting. It's without question my favorite Marvel movie because it caps this universe off perfectly. It gives some of the characters conclusions. It gives some of the characters beginnings. It does so much. It does so much for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a great story. It's a great movie. The action is awesome. I cannot praise Endgame anymore. I praise this movie so much. I mean, of course, I'm going to praise it for the rest of the year. But I love this movie. It's the best Marvel movie. It's the best movie in the MCU by far. It's the best comic book movie of the 2010s. It's the best movie of the year. It's probably the best movie of the last couple of years. Possibly the best movie of this decade, honestly. And possibly the best superhero movie of all time. And possibly, and if it does that, if I do decide it's my favorite superhero movie of all time, then it is my favorite movie of all time, because Dark Knight's my favorite movie. And if I decide, and Avengers Endgame is better than that movie, then it is. You won't know until my spoiler review whether I do think this is the comical best movie, or best superhero movie of all time. Avengers Endgame caps the cinematic universe out perfectly with a great movie that you guys need to see literally this second. Go to it immediately as you can, and yeah. But nobody cares about my tiresome ranking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What is your guys' ranking? Let me know in the comment section below. My spoiler review for Endgame might come out tomorrow, might come out the next day. I think I might do tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably make my box office video on Endgame where I'll talk about, hopefully, its biggest opening of all time. And I will make a spoiler review for Endgame. Yeah, Marvel is Marvel. I'm just gonna make Marvel videos for a little bit, and then we'll get back to some more 2019 movies. Thank you guys for watching this video. What is your guys' ranking? If you guys want to revisit, look, where is this ranking? Where are my 2019 movies ranked? Where are some of my MTS Sharks rankings? Well, you can go visit my Letterbox, where I have, like, I'm trying to see if I can get every single franchise I've ever seen ranked, where it'll be like, I have a Batman ranked, I have a DCEU ranked, I don't have a DC ranked. I have every comic book movie I've ever seen ranked, I have an MCU ranked, which we just did. I have a bunch of rankings there, a bunch of year rankings there, so you guys can go check that out, link in the description. See you guys next time. Bye.